Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back again by popular demand, but not by popular demand. But I'm here anyways, trading all day in the place to be with a new episode of the new Dasher series, where I talk to awesome dashers about awesome things, and not just about hyper dash, but about what makes the dasher dash. You know, like there's all kinds of things that make us who we are. It's not just hyper dash, even though our world revolves around it. But this current lineup of people I got, except for the LBS episode, which is a very popular episode. I wanted to continue talking to teams about what's been going on and what's up with playoffs and that good stuff. So today's team they're your friend, they're my friend, they're everybody's friend. In the place to be, we got ONYX.
Yo.
What up? Slam.
What's
Da-da-da. Let the boys be boys. You ever see that bad ONYX?
Flynn? Maybe?
It's all right. There's a rap group called ONYX, and one of the guys was on the show Moesha, and I could go on and on about that crap. So what's up, my guys? How you guys feeling?
Good.
Amazing.
Doing good.
Yeah.
Very
good.
Who do we got in the place to be? We got a whole team. Who we got in the place to be? We got Classic Scout. What's up, Classic Scout?
I'm good.
Good.
As usual, hopefully.
Hopeful. We got Flynn in the place to be. Flynn. What's up, Flynn?
That's right. I'm doing good, man. I'm happy to be a part of this interview with the boys.
We got
for having us.
Oh no, thank you for being here, man. Thank you I appreciate you guys taking the time to do this. I mean, yeah, anytime people are willing to chill and talk to me, I appreciate it all the time. He's not dead. He's live and breathing. We got Zed. What's up, Zed?
Yo, man. It's very late. I am European, but I want to have a good chat with everyone. So.
Is that why you're quiet? He's like, yo, I don't want to wake up nobody in the house because I will get killed. Well, thank you for making it, dude. I appreciate you making time for this. Yeah, man. What's up, Ski? What's up, Skis? You in the place to be? What's up, Ski?
Regular Skimo's his name, but yeah, what's up? It's a very nice night. I'm going to Disney soon, so it's a nice thing to kick off before we go.
Cool.
So
Disneyland or World?
Well, Disney World and Universal Studios. We're going down to Florida.
Oh, hell
Actually,
yeah.
In a couple hours.
He's like, so can you hurry up? Can we get this going, man?
No, well, it's all good. We're already playing this.
Yeah, no, but Zed's trying to get to sleep and Skibo's trying to get to Disney. And he's like, yo, let's just get this going.
But yeah, it's nice.
Well, thank you for making time for us, and I'm jealous, man. I want to go to that world. World already has the Super Mario World, and I mean, I'm still waiting for them to build it here.
Hey, I would
you guys have the Universal Studios that has a Super Mario World. I'm jealous, but we'll talk about that off camera. Also in the place to be, we got Castle. What's up, Castle? You barely made it, man. The door was closing. You're about to be sent to the principal's office. What happened?
Oh shit. Well, hey, what's up, Dre? Glad to be here.
And also here, last but not least, most importantly, I love his character, his PFP. We got K9. What's up, K9?
What's up, Dre? Glad to be here. Thank you for having us.
So I mean, is this most of the team already? I got like half of the team here, right?
We've got 6 players, so yeah, that's pretty much
just
really
about
the team.
Hey man, well that's that's awesome. I better not break nobody's legs. I wouldn't want nobody through. So what's it like being in playoffs, man? Are you guys nervous? I mean, quarterfinals went by and you guys pretty much crushed. But what was it like, man? You guys scared?
Classic. Yeah, Classic. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's pretty good getting to semifinals. I think it's pretty amazing that we got to playoffs at all, but to get to semifinals by beating the team that beat us at the start, we're feeling really good about it.
And now let's real facts take a step back, because if you guys don't know, ONYX they were in hibernation for a season, and then they end up coming out hungrier than ever. What was up with that hibernation? What happened, ONYX? Why'd you guys come out in season 1 and then take a sleep for the season 2?
Well, season 1 we were just a mess. We had no strats. Like literally, we had nothing. We haven't mentioned strats like at all during the entirety of season 1, and so it was kind of just all fallen apart, and so we just decided, probably not like the best decision, but we decided to go our separate ways right before the finals in season one. So, Percent went to team name, and then I went to Arc, and then it all just kind of faded away. But it was actually Flynn who went in my DMs with the idea to bring it back. Flynn is an ONYX super fan, and without him, none of us would be here right now. So, shout out to Flynn.
Thanks, man.
Flynn, what gave you that? What made you want to do that? What made you want to bring back the ONYX, or what was it about ONYX that you needed to bring back?
Well, I just saw like season one, this literally super bad team, like skill-wise, but I don't know, the name, the logo, the players that were on, it was just like so iconic. It was kind of started as a meme last season, like just the ONYX versus FR, like just really a bad team, like ONYX was a bad team. So I thought, what if we brought it back but surprised everyone and made it a super strong like playoff team? And like, who else to go to bring it back than Classic Scout himself, the leader, the top fragger, top KD. He was on board, and then it all went from there. We got awesome talent all around, and it's going really a lot better than I thought.
I'm kind of surprised that, Classic Scout, that you've been back and you've been back strong, because I don't want to insult you, but you're kind of shaky as far as attendance goes, man. So it's good to see you in there, and you're doing it. And when you apply yourself, you perform really well.
Yeah, I took a break at the end of season 2, but now I'm back. I'm fully back at it. I also want to mention Flynn started the Daily ONYX too, which also kind of kickstarted the hype back for ONYX, which is it's the Daily ONYX. You go in ONYX general chat, you say Daily ONYX. We're on 292 or something right now. It's pretty crazy. Almost a full year of Daily ONYX. So that has definitely been keeping interest.
And what do you guys say about what is it like? Like you guys say something like Daily ONYX, and then you say something. What is it?
We have different editions. Sometimes it's the ONYX makes it to semifinals edition. It's a fairly recent one.
Okay.
It's a pretty good one.
Okay.
It could be literally anything. So
that's cool. I mean, it's something.
Steamos gets a new bike or whatever.
It's a great way to like add hype around the team.
Absolutely.
Like, if you're not on the team, you hear the name ONYX and you know the players, you know the style, the logo. So yeah.
You know me. I know about Brandon. Dashley. People can't even read that anymore without screaming it.
Should be merch.
But what'd you say?
Should be merch. Just a picture of you just screaming Dash League.
That's funny. All right, maybe I will. Who knows? But yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, because I remember when ONYX came out in the beginning, back in the old days. Maybe season 0, or was it season 1? Maybe season 0. I don't know. But when you first came out, you guys had that, like, you guys came out, and then you're like, we're this new team ONYX. And I was like, okay, where's your logo? Remember the first logo you guys sent me?
Yeah, I drew that by hand.
And you're like, here it is. And I was like, okay, is your logo? This which one? It's fine. I put it up for like a match or two. Remember that one? Did you guys ever see that ONYX logo, the original?
Yeah. It was based off the Pokemon ONYX, but it was a Hyperdash helmet. I thought it looked pretty cool. It's just that I wasn't a very good illustrator.
Hey, I put it on his shirt. I put it on his shirt, so it is what it is. It's merch. No, but it was cool, man. I mean, it's just funny you went from that to like literally the most epic, in my opinion, the most epic logo. Where at one point, due to popular demand, we had to bring back the logo, and it was a retro art piece. Like, why is that logo still around? Because people want it, and it's our first retro piece. And now it came back into normal, normal line. That's crazy. Where did the name ONYX come from?
Well, the original captain, Blot Ink, and I were just shooting names in in DMs, and then I came up with ONYX, and then we said, I mean, the thing we agreed on is that, I mean, the letters X and like Y in a name is cool, so we kind of had to have those letters, and I just thought, oh, ONYX. He thought, oh, like the kind of rock, and I said, no, like the Pokemon, but I don't know.
Oh, I like it. Oh,
Fuck.
No, I like it. No, you're right. And every time I saw it in the beginning, I used to get confused because every time I saw it, I would want to say on it instead of ONYX. It's like on it, but you know, you get over it real fast. But I love, you know, I'm a kid of the '90s, so I love X's and Y's and dumb stuff like that.
I also want to give a shout out to Blotting, the OG ONYX captain. He is also the one who made the iconic logo we all know and love today. I did the render, but he did everything else. So without him, we would not have, in my opinion, the best logo in the league.
I know.
Shut up, right.
What do you think, Skibo? Is that the best logo in the league?
Yeah, because it's our team. I obviously think it's the best because
He's like, he's
it
just very
represents
honest.
us.
He's like, it's our team, so it's got to be. The
It's
best.
our team. Yeah, I personally think there are some other good ones. I do think that like a lot of them, like how D is, they put their names in ARC. It's a very sleek logo. You got team name. It's classified on like the meme. I guess you can say it's like a little meme-ish Discord logo thing to do. But yeah, a lot of the team logos are like pretty good in their own way, and it kind of represents their players, you know. Like
Oh yeah.
how team name is, they kind of more are like they're all friends that come together. They all had like past on Rec Room. ARC is more of like the sleeker. They're more like collected with each other, and like D, they like to represent themselves. They like to put them up on like they like to treat themselves like kings. That's why they put like the kings.
Oh yeah. Well,
crown on them.
they got the crowns, right? They got the crowns.
Yeah.
Hey. But that is neither here nor there. Yeah, you know what's crazy? I'm a logo guy, so obviously I love logos and stuff. And in the beginning, I don't even know if they were gonna have logos. I asked when I started casting. I was like, "Hey, does the teams have logos?" And then they were like, "I don't know." And they're like, "Well, can you make some?" And then they started giving us logos. And the only reason they're circles is because in the beginning I would just make them circles. Like I have like a thing that makes filters, like makes masks automatically. And I would just do that automatically. So that's why, if you guys wonder why the logos in Dash League are circles, it's just because the mask in the beginning I was using was circles and people just went with it.
Nice.
Yeah.
But who knows what the future's going to hold. Maybe they'll change things up. I love that logo. I don't know. The 4DV ones too was cool too, you know? Remember Vader?
But the Vader one, that was so long ago.
we gotta keep them alive. We gotta keep the memory alive. Classic. We gotta keep mentioning their names. So then, Flynn, you get Classic Scout back into the ring. It's you and Flynn. It's you and Classic Scout. Now, who else did you bring on after that?
Well, we had a very interesting start. We had what looked like to be like just ideal. We had a lot of recruits. We had Stone, who was with me from we captained together. We got Koala, who's now like probably the best player with Reco. We had so many things, but in the end, a lot. I'd say like 7, 8. We had a lot of players drop, and a lot of people thought we were gonna like crumble or just dissolve, and like the idea was stupid to bring it back.
Losing Koala was a huge loss. I mean, he's been killing it on D. To be able to outshow D, to like outperform D is like, I wouldn't want to catch that guy in the alley. But anyways, I mean, you guys are in playoffs, so it is what it is.
Yeah. And we took that opportunity, like all these top players that left, Nago, Koala, Stone, and instead of just like giving up, we took up the position. Our players got better, and now we're at the level that we can compete against them. So I'm really proud of my guys for doing that.
For sure. I mean, you skipped wild card. You made it straight into playoffs. You guys are now in semis. I mean, you have a serious chance at being at finals. It's crazy. So, like, when did K9 come on? When did you come on the team? K9, you came on with everybody else, or?
I came on when the big O2 poach kind of happened way back.
What is that exactly? Tell us about that. What was that?
Yeah, for those who don't know, O2 was other scrim team. So other kind of became O, and O2 is like the second version. And so I joined Hyperdash after Quest release, and a lot of people, I'm pretty sure everyone on O2 was just people post Quest release, like noobs that other kind of found in pubs and thought were good, and just kind of invited to their team. And yeah, it was a good scrim team for about a month, and then eventually Lynn approached multiple of us from O2. I think the original group was me, Zest, Koala, Rusty, and Forzen Cyborg, if you guys remember him. And so, yeah, approached us about it, and after like a long talk, you know, we saw what the roster would be with Noggle, Lynn, Koala Stone, and just like a cracked lineup. So we said sure, and kind of took the jump. And that's when we kind of got brought on board.
Crazy.
Yeah, a lot went down with that.
It's like a melting pot, this team of different teams and games.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you guys remind me kind of the Raiders, like a ragtag group of people that are coming in and kind of tearing it up.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
He's like, I don't know, I guess. So, coming out, what's it gonna be like if you guys go up against Owen finals? Like seeing those people. Have you gone up against them yet this season? Sorry if I cast it and I forgot.
I've not gone up against O, which is kind of wacky. Like they placed above us in the standings, but we never got to play them, fortunately.
You think there's gonna be a little bit of bad blood?
Nah, we're chill with them. They're cool, but it'd be nice to get to play them in the season.
Oh,
Yeah, we've been doing streams with them, so we have a pretty good relationship.
Okay. So they got over the whole poach, and we're like, all right, what is what it is.
Yeah.
It's all love.
Yeah.
It's all business, baby. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we learned that the hard way, but that's true. Like our team's really transformed from the original roster. We've kept a lot of our core players, but it's been changing, like players leaving, going to other teams. And now we're at this point, like our strongest point, our stable point, that we all like trust each other. We know how we play. We know our strategies really well. So yeah, we're in a good point right now for playoffs.
Great point. I mean, the way you guys performed in the quarterfinals. I mean, I don't know, man. So what do you guys? You guys a little worried going up against Team Name? There's some. I think those were the. I think that's the team to beat. That now that D's out, they're the team to beat.
Yeah, Zed, what do you think about Team Name? Because you're kind of a big Strat guy.
Yeah, so obviously we already played Team Name during the season, and it wasn't a pretty sight, for sure.
Okay.
We've had some decent results in scrims, but you know, maybe people aren't warmed up or they have a bad day. It's really hard to gauge the raw skill potential in the team. But we do know that Team Name is a very old, seasoned team. They're all veterans. They know how to play the game really well. They're very individually skilled, and they've been looking into strats a lot recently. We often see them do like a pre-game preparation chat for at least an hour in their own server.
Wow.
And, you know, it makes sense. It's good to see a team take the game a little more seriously than previously. But it also means they're a much stronger force. So, of course, we were worried about this match. Very worried. We'll see what happens.
See, the problem
We'll
with
prepare for sure.
no, you're absolutely right. Because the problem with Team Name is if they could focus that laser, they're deadly. But
Exactly.
if the laser breaks and the prism hits it and it spreads everywhere, those mines all over the place. Oh man, that's crazy. It's not. You can't always guarantee they're gonna harmonize, but when they do, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a bit of an upset recently with Team Name versus Arc. Team Name took Canyon by storm, which was unexpected because Arc has even won in against D, right?
Yeah,
like last
that's
season. And then right after that, they lost Waterway to Arc, which was also unexpected because Team Name almost won Waterway against D in the finals, right? So it's really hard to predict how it's going to go. Lots of things are changing between teams. they're trying out new strats, getting new rosters. It's just hard, right?
Oh yeah, you got me thinking about it now. I was like, damn, I cast those matches. I don't remember that. Zed's the people. You gotta realize this. Zed's going back in the tapes, and he's looking deep into it. So fear them. I mean, the thing about I've realized over the seasons, over all the casting in my my monkey brain, I've come to realize is that Arc with the compendium, team name with the strategy, you guys with digesting all this information. Even with like the constant scrimming, it's like I see that it takes a lot of professionalism, and it's no longer a game at this level. It's like it's crazy. I don't even know what to call it anymore.
Yeah, I think
It's a full-time job.
Passionate for this game. It's a real passion, and
yeah,
it's not just
the
the
bar
game.
for strats stuff is definitely being raised by all teams now. We're all getting better collectively, and it's getting harder to beat each other. So it takes more effort, for sure.
And you guys are figuring it out. You guys are getting between the cracks. What were you saying, Flynn?
Yeah, that we're like what makes this game so fun isn't just the game itself. I've talked about this with the boys before, but just because of this awesome group we have, we keep motivating each other to get better and like beat each other in points and kills, and we teach each other things, so that makes this game really fun to play.
Oh yeah, in the beginning, I noticed there was like the better players teaching basically everybody overall. But once the Dash League came around and teams came into play, and teams like, because in the beginning, even when the teams came out in Dash League, they were like changing and dropping and building so fast that it was hard for anybody to get a real team. So, but after having so many seasons and being together, you guys seem like like a tight knit group of people now. It's different, and the level is showing.
That's right. And what's cool is that these like decent teams, most of the time they would just look to D, Arc, and TMNM games to get like the base of their strategies. But we've like obviously watched videos like Taking Advice and seen strategies, but now we're able to make our own strategies, especially credit to K9, Zed, and Castle. They've been awesome with making new strategies that are like completely new. They're not stolen, and we've actually won matches using these like homemade strategies, ONYX strategies.
That's original. So Castle, tell me about that. What goes into making a strategy of some sort? Because it's hard. It's hard at this point. Maybe not. Maybe you like, no, there's a million ways. For me, like, there's so much meta, it's hard to come up with strategy. You tell me how is it? What's it like?
Well, I mean, a lot of it comes from just what we've seen in our scrims and practices. We've been practicing daily for the last 4 months.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Quad once made a comment like, this is almost a job for ONYX. And while that was, I guess, a little bit of a quip, at the same time, it kind of is for us. We take this very seriously. We're all very committed, and we play a lot. So just seeing what works, what doesn't work, maybe going this route, standing here, maybe the team saying this or that, that's kind of developed into what our current strat is. And what we have for strats is we try to take a little bit of what Arc does, and they have all these diagrams and stuff. So we've kind of done that on our own. So we've got diagrams, we've got call outs for all the maps, and it gives us a really good organized way not to only organize the people that have been on the team a while, but anyone that does join the team, they have a great point to kind of learn what we do and kind of minimize the transition from being a new player to being a veteran ONYX player. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
That's the level of dedication it takes to be competing at this level. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, and in the beginning I saw Arc mostly taking it this serious, besides D, obviously, because D was like a sleeper hitter to me. I was not even paying attention, and the season 0 they just marched slowly to the top, and then they just kept taking everybody out every season, every match. I was like, dang, these people are murderers. But like Arc was the team that took everything serious, and it's crazy to see all the teams taking it that serious.
Yeah, Arc's been a big inspiration for us, and trying to like how we approach and the seriousness behind it. So,
really? Okay.
Yeah, so for them, I mean, Team Name and The have always been like the two biggest rivals for us. So in terms of like Gil and how much effort we have to put in. But with ARC, it was a slightly different goal. It was how organized we can be and how we can kind of counter them in that fashion. So, and it's a mixture of those two things where I feel like it's really set us on the path that we are currently.
Arc has been a reliably winning team. Like, they're always going to be in playoffs. But it sucks they haven't won a championship. It sucks because I've seen them. They've been consistently good, but even when they were doing bad, they still made playoffs and wild card and made playoffs and stuff. So yeah, you're right.
Did they not win season 0?
No.
Who was that? Was that D still?
D, yeah. TBD at the time.
Bro.
Oh, they got second.
They got
right?
second, yeah. Yeah, they got second place, and then season 1 it was Arc versus D, and then season 2 was team name versus D, and season 3 is gonna be ONYX versus who? Who do you guys want to see in finals?
I mean, logically flowing, if we beat TMNM, we would play ARC. That'd be a pretty good final.
So you think ARC is gonna take O out for sure?
It's tough, but I do lean that way. Yeah.
Or you just prefer to see that happen? You guys don't want to go up against O.
We're ready for either.
Personally, I'd like to go up against O.
We already
Oh,
saw
I
them
would
do
definitely want to
battle.
go against O.
O2 other battle.
That'd be cool because we've never played them in the whole season, so to meet up with them in finals would be pretty epic.
Yeah.
You know me, I would play up that drama so much in that video, that finals video. I'd be like, ooh,
The 2 O's.
the battle of the O's. something. I was just spitballing. I gotta get to it. Nah, but it could be anybody's game, yeah. So what do you guys think about the whole controversy about the MMR and the freaking how everything turned out?
Ooh.
Yeah,
Well-
they should go to Zed.
Yeah.
Zed is the only one
Yeah.
well versed.
Yeah.
I am probably the least versed in this, but Zed, he knows a lot about this.
So, I guess the specific controversy you're referring to is, it was born out of D not having the MMR that they expected. Specifically, they were on like 20th place. Obviously, they wanted to be in playoffs so that they can win the season like usual. And it kind of just boiled down to they were told that if you join late in the season, you can make it. And then they did, and they fought everyone really well. And then
Beat
they
everybody.
didn't make it. Of course, they beat everyone, but the way this season MMR works, it puts a lot of focus on your score, not the like objective outcome of a match. So if you go 3-0, the MMR formula doesn't care about that. It only cares about your score relative to the other team's score, and then there's some prediction based on some player MMR, and then out of that you calculate the new MMR you get for your team. And they just didn't get enough for each match. They were pretty close. I think it was like 40 MMR points more per map, and they would have gotten it, which is pretty small, because they had like 4,000 something points in total. And I guess that was just too much for some people, so they got really mad. There was a ruling committee like trying to reverse something, which was even more controversial because it was a solution to late joiners messing up MMR that Parsnip created at the start of the season, and it also meant they would fight everyone in Dasher tier. So half of it was starting them and keeping them in Dasher tier, and the other half was setting their player MMR in the beginning of their when they joined, even though they otherwise would have had 0. So the solution was giving them some MMR and putting them in the Dasher tier. And the ruling committee, they only removed the MMR part because obviously they can't redo all the matchups. And that combined with some statistics I did with some other people, and lots and lots and lots of argument in these threads
Yeah.
they made.
There was so many gigabytes wasted on that.
Yeah, it really showed that this was not a good decision. So thankfully, the board stepped in and reversed it. I think they're taming or even getting rid of the ruling committee entirely, because it really showed that it was not the intended purpose of the committee. And we've also been working a bit on just creating a new MMR system entirely for next season. I'm really excited about that. Got me, Gemos, Percent, and Odd, and I think Makers was there, but he left because it was during the controversy and he didn't want to be too biased about things.
Let me ask you this: do you think D should have been in playoffs?
I mean, so it kind of depends on the perspective, right?
I'm saying
say,
okay, everybody wants to say, oh, we give a special treatment to D. They've
Yeah.
won every single season. Every single season they won. They're the best team. Basically, the teams that are performing right now are going to be top of Tasher tier. They're not really going to be the crown holders because they haven't beat the best team. So
oh
that's-
yeah, for sure. But on the other hand, if they didn't get Koala, would they still be the best?
I mean, but
Don't
they
know.
had, but that could be said about any team. That could be said about any player. I'm just talking about them being the best team out there, and for them not to make it. You know, even to, and I was telling them make them play 4 teams. Whoever 4 teams they missed, play them again. Who cares? They're gonna beat them hand down. That's my point. Is I was trying to say is they're gonna beat them no matter what. I'm confident in that. So that's about why. But I get it. Everybody was saying, well, then if they're in playoffs, then they're gonna win and they're gonna be finals and da da da. I get that. So it's more exciting this way. I just think I like Mortal Kombat, so you have to beat everybody to get to the top.
Right.
To be a champion, right?
It totally makes sense from the being the best perspective, but from the other perspective is how the league works and fighting within the system of a league and withholding the integrity of how the league functions, right? Because if you're going to change it just so that one team can get the spot that they should have gotten, you're kind of ruining it a little bit for everyone else, and that's
But
unfair.
It's not
That's
just
what we avoided.
It's not just any team though. It's the best team.
Yeah, but again, why
you
why
can't
should
treat
one
it
team-
differently. It doesn't matter how good they are. Even though they are the undisputed best team in the league,
The
no one
best
questions
team.
that. No one questions that, but that doesn't
Yeah.
give them superiority over any other team, even if it's the worst team. They should be treated exactly the same.
And my
It's
answer
unfortunate.
to the rules is there's been rule changes. There's been things going on all season. There's been all kinds of changes. I mean, I know I read all these chats. There's been rule changes all season. All kinds of stuff going on. This, that, and the other. So for the only reason this one was so controversial, I think, is because a lot of the teams were scared to play against D in the playoffs, which it's fine. They even said they'd give up the money. But in the end, it was too hot of a topic, and they just backed out. And it is what it is. I would have liked to see, because I think this season would have been different. I don't think they would have steamrolled. I don't know if they would have been champion. I did actually bet a lot of. I bet on them, but who knows what would have happened. But that being said, with them out, it still is what it is. I just. Yeah, obviously I'm biased. I made my little video and stuff.
I think the conclusion is good, right? So we haven't ruined the integrity of the league. We've got the board stepping up, putting on the big boy pants, reversing their mistakes, taking responsibility for what happened, and we're seeing a shift towards a more well thought out team-based MMR system for next season. And maybe the ranking system is going to change entirely. The season structure might change. Who knows? We're definitely going towards a more sensible and more modern approach that doesn't favor weird play styles and old meta, like I mentioned before by Parsnip, that focusing on score doesn't make any sense. That doesn't show how good you are at the game. It doesn't show how good your team is at winning. It just shows how many kills you get, which is not what we should focus the rankings on, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I was asking everybody, why don't we just do wins losses like we did before? But somebody explained to me we can't. So I was like, yeah, you guys are smarter than me for
I
sure.
mean, the problem is it's a short season, So doing that, you would have to have at least 3 times as long to get somewhat accurate rankings.
Oh, okay.
But also for
I believe
last
you. I
season,
believe you because, like I said, I don't know.
even last season, of course we had rank point, but there was still MMR to create the matchups. And without a system that can make matchups fairly, you're gonna get a lot of boring matches, a lot of stomps, a lot of just annoyance being in the league. Because obviously you want to fight teams that are on your level or slightly above all the time, so that you can get better and you can have nice matches.
And that's what I heard what was going to happen with MMR, and it kind of happened, but it was just, it was starting out, it had growing pains. And going back to the argument, it's easy. I tell everybody this: it's easy for me to yell at you guys from the sideline when I'm not the one on the field. So I don't. Hey, once again, I'm not in any team. I don't win anything from nothing. I just had my point of view, my opinion, and my opinion, it's worth less than $1. So. I just want to let that clear to everybody who's watching. But
I mean, the pains we saw this season, we kind of know why it happened, and we have a lot of proposals for a new system based on all the data we have, and we have percent and odd to provide a lot of meta, because they know how the game works, they know how exactly to play the objective, what we can get from the stats the game gives us, and so on. So I'm really hopeful for next season.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. No, but
This
this
is what's
season,
awesome about
this season is over. What are you saying, Flynn?
That's what's so cool about this team is that we have such a variety of ideas. Like we've got brains, like Zed, super smart guy that knows all of this stuff, and it helps a lot to have someone who really understands this, so that the team isn't completely lost on the subject. I just wanted to shout him out too, because he's been a part of ONYX since we transformed I to ONYX. And he's been there from the beginning. I got him from and he pretty much changed my perspective on how I see this game. I used to just see this game as a chill, maybe have 1 or 2 scrims a week, and then just have fun. Whatever happens in the game doesn't matter. But Zed really got the backbone of our strategy and really transformed the guys into the level we are right now. So he came up with this disciplined. Practicing, positioning, stuff that I wasn't used to, so it was like a shock at first. But we're all pretty used to it now, and we're happy to have it. And so Zed kind of laid down that foundation, which I'm really grateful for, and it's awesome to have him on the team. And then Castle, he came onto the team 2 months later, I'm not sure. He didn't join in the original group. I convinced him to join, and he came back, and a funny story, he started off really bad. Castle, skill-wise and mechanics, was not good, and we were kind of worried because season was about to start and we needed good players. But he changed real quick. He got super involved, started making scrims, getting better consistently, just like a straight lineup. And he got so involved to the point, he became captain, and he kind of took this team to the next level. He got the backbone of Zed strats and foundation, and then used that and created new charts, team discussions. So it's really awesome that every single one of us on this team has played a different role to get where we are now. K9 has also helped a ton with strategies, just giving out ideas that are now used in our main strategies, actually.
Yeah, I just want to add, just all these people, Zed, Castle, K9, all have played a part in developing our strategy, not just of the game itself, but our strategy and play around each other as well. We've gotten really good recently at playing cooperatively, at least in one sense, cooperatively. But I still do play pretty selfishly, but I'm definitely not as selfish as a player as I used to be. Like in OG Onyx, I just play basically by myself because that's what worked. But now I know the positioning to take advantage of the rest of my teammates' abilities as well. and that's very important.
Oh yeah, yeah. So Zed, why are you so focused? Where'd you learn this from? Is this something you carry from life?
I'm not exactly sure, honestly. This is my first esports experience. This is my first competitive game. It was also like a month after I got my quest, I started playing the game, and I haven't played anything else since. I think it was just the promise and the potential of taking a team and then driving it to new lengths, new heights, making it really strong. I've done a lot of coaching for ONYX players. We tend to record our matches, we upload them, and we watch them either in private, writing a review, or sit in a VC just to discuss specific decisions they made or their play style, how we can improve it. It was mostly done early on to have a baseline for skill and laying down a foundation of things you should do and you shouldn't do, like focusing on cover, taking health when it's necessary, stuff like that. Just making sure that everyone kind of has the same core foundation that we can work off of, so that we know what to expect from each other. And then strats, I've always loved taking in a lot of information, digesting it, coming up with a conclusion, like just doing research basically. So in this case, I could watch lots of matches, look at where people stand, how they work together as a team, how group ups work, how the waterway dynamics are. It's really complicated, and I don't fully understand domination yet to like make a structured strat. It's still pretty brute force, I think, for most teams. But it's been really fun to just really dive in, and digest as much match recordings as I can, especially from D, team name, and arc. It's been a lot of fun. I'm really proud to see where the team is now. I did a little bit for at the time. I was also the leader there, making scrims, lineups, our roster, posting trim assaults, all that stuff. But it was nowhere near the level that we are now. For the first long time, I did the same for ONYX. Like all the captain stuff you usually do for a team, it was all me basically. But eventually, K9 up, and then Castle kind of took over a lot of the logistics, reaching out to people, making scrims, organizing the team a little bit more, so that I could sit down again and focus on what I found a little bit more important. So I'm very thankful for Castle's role for the team, and I'm super proud of how he has progressed as a player.
Castle, is this your first by the way, I'm convinced Zed is an android. I just figured out he's AI. He's AI for sure.
Sometimes we're not sure either.
We all are convinced
Just
too.
the level of intelligence. Sometimes the way he talks, just sometimes. But yeah,
He says,
that's
he says I
super
love
cool, super
digesting
cool.
data. I was like, that's something a computer would say.
Yeah. That's just Zed, man.
No, I'm just kidding, Zed. Castle, is this your first competition like this type of game? I can't even say
No,
word.
actually,
I'm an idiot.
The reason why I came on a little bit later, I was originally on Flynn's I team. I was there for like a month, I believe. I only played one match with them. But before that, I was actually a captain and an admin, so I was on the board for the Rec Room Laser Tag League. So I had just finished up doing competitive play in the Rec Room. So it was a kind of a transition, so I still had a lot of the ideas and the motivation, so brought that on with me. Now, mechanically, like they were saying, I didn't bring that on so much. I had to learn that from scratch and just grind.
Fire rate.
Yeah, fire rate. Yeah, that was actually one of the first things Classic ever mentioned to me. Is like, dude, you shoot so slow. It's like, okay, I'll work on that. But yeah, no, not my first. Not my first.
How you work on it? How do you practice your firing?
You just make it intentional and you just start shooting faster. That's.
I picture you walking around your house with a fidget spinner, like just like. Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta.
Dude, sometimes I would walk around with my controller in hand and just kind of like practice, kind of like shooting faster. But I mean, I play so much these days, I don't really have to do anything. So, but no, yeah, no tricks or anything. It's just.
What does your family think
practice.
of your Dash League lifestyle?
Oh, you know, I mean, I live alone, so
Okay.
they'll come visit every now and then when I'm working and whatnot. But
Lucky.
Yeah. So
I got a
it's my own.
wife, so I gotta do chores and stuff.
Yeah, fair enough.
No,
But no, I'll show them videos and whatnot, and be like, I show them clips and everything. It's like, check this out. They're like, I have no idea what's going on, but good for you.
I get the same reaction.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks that every time I'm casting, they think I'm all those players. They're like, well, I just see you running
Yeah.
around the street. I'm like, do you really think I'm all those people all the time? Like
Yeah.
hours of this. Okay.
Just show them reco clips all the time.
They think
Show 'em
I'm everybody. It's crazy. My friends don't
Yeah.
even think I do anything but play this game. I'm like, no, man. You guys gotta come and check it out.
Bro.
What about the rest of you? Do your families get on your case about this? Because, I mean, I'm lucky. My wife understands. I do podcasts, so she really used to me hiding in the studio all the time.
I freak out to my mom.
Would you say, Skibo?
Regularly, if there's like a big win, like how it was one of our toughest fights ever, but we pulled through, was against ONYX. I went down to my mom. I was freaking out. Like, we did it. Like, it wasn't even playoffs. I mean, we were just excited that we reached that like milestone.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like even before, whenever like because me, Flynn, and Castle all came from like laser tag league, so even before that, I would freak out even just winning against the team. And just I would like go downstairs, and it was like they really root for me, and they're really hoping that we can pull this through and take a win.
And now you guys are top 4. That's amazing. Top 4 of Dash League is awesome. So what do you think is going into playoffs? Are you nervous? Are you just gonna play it cool, or what's going on? What's your feelings on it, Skibo?
Well, I can't. I'm gonna be gone for team name, but I
What?
believe.
Wait a minute. Why would you be? Oh, you can't.
Yeah, I'm
take
gonna be
it,
at Disney.
but you can't take it with you.
Oh, I can take it, but I prefer that people being at home. But yeah, see, people are like, oh yeah, it's gonna be this team. But here's the thing, it ain't over till it's over. As soon as you see that they won, that's when you know they've won. It ain't as soon as it says on that screen, team name wins or ONYX wins, or ONYX wins or other wins. That's when you know it ends. That's when you know it's fully over. People are speculating. And like, oh yeah, it's obviously gonna be this, but anything can happen. So I'm just really excited to see how this turns out.
Yeah, you're right. I could assume, like I say, team name's gonna win. But what happens if somebody gets mad or somebody has a bad day or something happens? No, it's up in the air. Anything can happen. ONYX could come through and be like, boom, and bank that shot and make it in. So who knows what's could happen? I can picture what's gonna happen. I don't know when you guys gonna schedule this match. Help me out here, guys. Help me out. Come on, let's do it Friday or Saturday. Help me out, because Sunday I gotta be gone. The missus is gonna kill me if I'm in here. I do this every day, all day, but I can't do it that one day.
This has to be the most special Sunday of your life, Dre.
Yeah,
Special.
exactly.
Sunday.
My wife's
You have to
birthday.
tell your wife.
Oh, what's more important, your wife's birthday or
My wife's
Dash
birthday.
League?
My wife's birthday right off the bat. She's the one reason that I have this beautiful studio and this beautiful lifestyle I live. My wife's birthday, absolutely.
I love the lack of hesitation you had there.
Yeah, no, we don't
Have
think-
her as a guest commentator for the stream, and then everyone sings her happy birthday.
Exactly. Yeah, we can do it on Saturday when we have the match, or Friday. Help me out. Anyways, I can picture Skibo being at Disney World and seeing the results and just screaming either way, either you lost or win. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did that once. I was a lot of the times. So sadly, I don't know why, but literally every time almost we have playoffs, it's always whenever I'm on vacation. Whenever we had that first league playoffs,
What's
I
more
was
important,
at-
Skibo, Dash League, or your
Disney.
vacation, your little vacation?
I don't know.
Ooh.
Disney.
I would
Yeah.
I would go to Disney World. Let me go with you.
But that's the thing about a big team. You can take days off.
Yeah.
You got people to back you up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm gonna try to find somebody to cover. If we can't figure it out, I'll get somebody to cover it. Just it'll be whatever I could get. Not whatever I
Yeah.
could get, but I mean, it is what it is. We're all helping each other out. This is a volunteer league. We don't get paid for any of this, and that's that's what makes it great. But at the same time, that's what makes it what it is.
Yeah.
K-Now, we haven't talked to you, man. What's up with you, man?
Me?
Yeah.
Nah, nothing's up with me. I was just doing some stuff in the background.
Have you
Man,
been?
that's lame, King.
Have you ever been to Disney World?
Once. And I didn't get to see all the places. I only got to go to Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom, but I really want to go to Epcot to go to the Lego store and all that.
I hate to break it to you, K9. Epcot is gone, bro. They took it down.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
It's like I will never be able to go, man.
The one place you said is the place. No, they took it out. Yeah, they got rid of a bunch of stuff over there. Skibo, I hope that wasn't one of your stops too, man. They took it out. They got rid of that stuff.
Ruined my day, Dre.
Sorry about that, man. I didn't want to be the one to break in the news. Remember when that kid got eaten by that alligator? That's pretty crazy too. Be careful with the gators, Skibo. Take gator repellent.
Oh, we're not going. We're doing a wombo combo. We're doing two. We're doing Universal and Disney, kind of mashing it together.
I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
Man, my life. Well, everything over here in Cali is expensive, and it's overcrowded. I don't even want to deal with any of it. But oh well. Well, my guys, unless there's anything left to add about playoffs or about the season, I mean, you guys have done amazing. You guys made a miraculous. I don't want to say comeback because, I mean, you guys came back this season, I guess, in general. But yeah, you guys are doing awesome, and you've earned your spot in the semifinals. You guys are top 4.
Mm-hmm.
Top 4.
That's a huge accomplishment for me. Like, if you think about all the top 4s we've had, those have been the best of the best. So this season 3, you guys are top 4. You're the best of the best.
Yep. I want to give a couple shout outs.
Oh yeah, go ahead, man.
First, shout out to Skimos, who I guess couldn't make it today. We haven't heard a peep from him about this. At least I as far as I can remember.
Wow.
But he's been important. Yeah, he's been important for our scheduling, our scrim scheduling. Especially in the beginning, he was scheduling all the scrims. And yeah, that really kick-started our scrimming. We've done so many scrims. It started with him, so we're very thankful for that. I also I wanted to talk about it earlier, but I didn't get a chance. Shout out to Arc. Arc is very cool. And all the teams that I've been on in the past. Arc specifically was really my. I've only played a couple games with Arc because I really only joined them for the, which kind of sucks. But they were my first real introduction to the competitive scene of the game. Like when I joined and then we started playing some Waterway, I was amazed at how cooperative they were, because ONYX, OG ONYX was literally like just playing a pub, and we went into Waterway, and then they're like, okay, do you wanna reserve that dash pickup? I'm like, you guys will keep the dash pickup for me? That's so nice. Like I didn't even realize that people would do that. So that was really important. So shout out to Team Name, because I was also with them for a little bit. For like half of season 2 or so. They were fun to play games with. They're really chill. They also took in, or not just took in, they're the home of Percent. Percent's been one of the closest dudes with me kind of throughout, kind of less recently, but he's been really important in my Hyperdash career. So there's that. And shout out to the rest of ONYX for existing and making it this far. You know, who's the rest? Wilfies, Mario, Shiny, T-Fairy.
Figure stats of the team.
Hey,
Yeah.
is T Fairy a mobster? I gotta ask you guys. You guys gotta tell me. Is T Fairy? Does he break legs? Does he break knees?
You know,
Yes.
we may not be sure, but we know he's a badass. So.
Hey, I
was
know
making a sandwich, so I made it back for the shout outs.
for sure. You want to go ahead, Flynn? Take it away. What's your shout outs?
No, just shout out my whole team. I'm super proud of these guys. Really happy to have them as teammates, and yeah, shout out to you for having this awesome episode. I think this is the first like team episode I see so far, which is really cool.
No, we had UNSC before you guys, but you guys are the first team in semifinals.
Yeah.
It's true.
But yeah, thank you for being here, man, and always putting on a great performance and all that good stuff. And Schemos, he's a diehard fan. He says he's watched every episode of everything I've done. And I said, you don't do that. It's gonna hurt your brain. There's too many hours.
He's always in chat. Schemo in chat.
He's always in the chat. Yep.
Always in the chat.
I always said if I ever do adult films, I'm gonna take his name, Boss Dirks. I need that name. I just like that name. I don't know.
Man, I gotta shout.
Go ahead, Schemos, take it away.
Alright, well, I gotta say this because this is my two homeboys, Flynn and Shiny. They both, literally, whenever I first joined any competitive stuff, I was super trash, did not play anything. I joined Blue Blazers Minor, Season 5. Then after that, I turned into a major. So after that, we went to minors, finalists. But then we lost because a lot of Disney stuff and all. Yeah, Disney got in the way. But then we went to majors. And then I grew after that. And then it got to the point where me, Flynn, Castle also. Me, Flynn, Castle, and Shiny, we were all top 10 players at some point. And after that, they showed me Hyperdash and then brought me to this. And then like, Flynn said like the biggest thing that actually made me realize something was that he said that he was with me. He's like with me the whole way from my whole esports adventure, from like the point I've started doing competitive leagues to now. And it's like it blew my mind just thinking about that.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy, man.
Love you, man. No homo.
What are you doing there?
No,
no
man.
homo.
Pause. It's just that this community, this is the like I keep saying this time and time again. This community is crazy. That like I download Discord. I'm involved in Dash League. I have all these friends around the world because of this game, and that's something I haven't. And I've been a gamer my whole life. I'm old. I've been a gamer my whole life. And this is the first time I felt like that for any game, and I'm probably gonna be the last time because I can't get into online games like this. Castle, man, let's go with you. Any last words? Any shout outs?
Well, honestly, the biggest shout I can think of right now is actually for you, Dre.
What?
Back when I first started Hyperdash, the very first commentary I ever saw was with you, and it was one of the first things I remember was the whole like your iconic Dash League car or like Hyperdash. So that was my introduction to Hyperdash or Dash League, and I always thought it was like super cool, super organized, and it looked awesome. And it was like I want to be a part of that. So you're part of the reason why I got so into Hyperdash, man. So I appreciate that.
Well, I'm glad, man. Yeah, I draw inspiration from like Nickelodeon and like fun and just in your face, and I like that. That's I just want it to be fun because I've always figured if we're having fun, then you guys are having fun. Hopefully, I mean, it's not always the case though. Trust me, I've gotten the emails, I got the comments. It's cool. I love my haters too. I love them. K9, any last words? Any shout outs?
Shout out to you, obviously, for having us. The Dasher series, I watched a good amount of them. Need to watch more. And shout out to all the ONYX guys. I mean, we've done a lot of work this season. Shout out to Miss Kitty, who's in our server and has the ONYX role. Who's our ONYX mascot. Also, shout out to the O2 guys, the OG ones. Shout out to Other for that great 2 months of training. Gave me kind of what I needed to go off of. And, yeah.
Thanks for the keys to the jet. I had to go. Hey.
But yeah, no, it's all love.
I hope so, man. I hope so. Because once again, remember, in the end, this is a game. We're playing the game. Have fun. But I hope it's all love. And last but not least, he's not dead. He's proven he's very much alive. Hopefully. I still don't know if he's AI. The homie Zed. Any last words, any shout outs?
Yeah, I have a couple shout outs. First, a big shout out to Schemos for staying with me and being with me since we were on back. I think he joined around April, late March maybe. We've been together since then. And when Flynn reached out to us to come over to my condition was that Schemos would follow me along. Otherwise, I wouldn't join. and thankfully he did. And he's just been a great buddy all the way, working together to improve and playing in all our scrims. One funny thing on that was, it was always me, Gamos, and then 3 other people who were available at the time, which is part of why we left as well. There were a lot of availability problems we were European, and they had a lot of West Coast people, a lot of school kids, so they just couldn't play at our reasonable time, especially because we really want to scrim almost every day. It's hard to run.
It is.
With a split region like that. We've worked out some really good stuff on ONYX so that we can scrim pretty much every day, anytime we want. Then I have a shout out for Dian. On the, I unfortunately had to leave him behind. We're decent buddies at the time. Co-running the team, like that. He's been doing a great job, and definitely a beast. And, I have a last shout out for Parsnip. It was almost sad reading his big post about the big decision. The entire community really came together to show a lot of love for him, because he said he'd step down from the board, which is very sad. But yeah, I'm very proud of what he did. The big courage it took, sort of overrule all this that happened. So a lot of love for that guy. That's all for me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I didn't agree with what he did, obviously, but I didn't want him to leave either, and I didn't want him to like disappear. I mean, that guy's a huge contribution to this whole league and what he does. And I mean, he even helped me out with some animated graphic overlays on my old setup. So shout outs to that guy and everything he does, and I'm pretty sure he'll be back. I'm pretty sure it's hard to stay away from this league. Are you saying, Zed?
Yeah, I hope so. I definitely hope he will stay. I think he wanted to leave because maybe he thought he was hurting a lot of people's feelings, or maybe it was just too much and it was like the final thing he will do as like a cathartic decision. I hope not, though. I really stays around. He's definitely an important part of the board and what makes the league what it is. You know, he created the MMR. He's a big brain man. Very important part of the league. Yeah, let's see what happens for next season.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, and you just gotta keep, just giving that love out. Keep reminding people about these people. Remember Classic Scout? I had people it was funny because I had people hitting me up like, what happened to Classic Scout? Why is this show dedicated to him?
Huh? I was dedicated?
Yeah, season 2, at the end of every show, I dedicated all the matches. This match is dedicated to Classic Scout.
Ooh.
You never see that? You never see this description?
Gosh, I don't remember.
It doesn't matter.
No idea.
I kept doing it till you came back, and then I started doing it for Jackson Chapo because they're gone now, and then Jax came back, so now I'm just doing it for Chapo. I'm trying to see if it works. I'm trying to bring back Chapo.
Because I left. Midnight did not want to remove me from the rosters. Oh yeah, it was really annoying. I was like, oh my gosh, take me off the roster. And then she was just like, no, like Midnight does.
You still talk to Mitty? I haven't talked to her in a long time, man. I'm sad.
Sometimes I join the server name voice chat and like call her cute or something, and then leave.
And can you hear her blush?
Yeah, she blushes every single time.
I bet. I miss you, Mitty. I miss you. You need to come back. Or at least come on. I tried to get on the Dasher series, and she was like, no.
Yeah, she also tells me to die, but I could tell she's blushing.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Shout outs to Mitty and the whole clan name. Yeah, man. Well, good luck in playoffs. Good luck in the semis. You're gonna need it going up against team name, but it's a toss-up. Anybody could win. So, and if you guys win, I'm gonna be mad if you did it and I wasn't casting it. So that's all I'm saying. I will find out where you guys live and write very harsh letters to you.
Hey, yo, I'm 15. Hold up.
No, I'm just kidding, man. I'm a non-violent person. I would just hurt your feelings. I would just write letters to you.
You're a wholesome guy.
Yeah, yeah, so shout outs to the board. Shout outs to everybody who's been liking, subscribing, doing all that stuff. If we get our numbers up, we could bring back the polls. We could bring back all that good stuff. Shout outs to everybody who's been donating. We got lanyards, stickers, decals, magnets. Hit me up. We want everybody to support this Dash League brand. Spread the love. We shout outs to all our sponsors. Because of you, we're able to give away dope stuff. We got the prize pool, 5,000. Somebody's gonna win it. And you know, other things going on. We help us look good. Shout out to my staff, helping me out with all the stuff that I need done. I'm spoiled. And shout out to my client HH. Semifinals this weekend, possibly. If not, I don't know. But that's it. Any last words from anybody?
Nope.
Hey, you know what?
ONYX
No, I'm
man.
joking.
All right, peace.
Peace, Trey.